Okay. Okay. Alrighty, folks, well, we will go ahead and get started here. It is good to see you all this evening. I hope you had a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day yesterday, full of lots of love. And I hope you had a wonderful week full of lots of music and practicing piano. So we're going to go ahead and get started with some of our rhythm reading warm-ups. So you can clap these warm-ups if you want to. You can tap on your legs. You can play a note on the keyboard. It's kind of, whatever you want to do. But let's go ahead and take a look at this first one all together. So just reminding that we have our dotted half note value, 3 counts. So the half note plus a dot, 3 counts, our quarter note, and then the squiggly line is our quarter rest, okay? So let's go ahead and give this a try all together. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, rest, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, rest. Oh, you guys are good. That was great. Let's try another one. Make sure nobody's waiting on Zoom. Here we go. Now, here's one thing to watch out carefully for. Our time signature has now changed. Now we're in 3/4. A lot of people, maybe I said this, so humor me if I already told you this. A lot of people, when they do 3/4, they will cheat and they go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's not really 3 counts. That's 4 counts, parading as 3 counts. So just be aware for that not to happen, okay? And then this little brick shape, that little rectangle shape on the last line, that's our half rest. So that's 2 counts of rest, okay? Let's go ahead and give this one a try. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, rest, rest, rest. 2, 3. 1, rest. 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That one gets a little tricky, there's a little bit of a challenge in there in the bottom line. So let's go ahead, still making sure, okay, I guess we're gonna one more, and then we'll move on to one more thing, okay? Everything's straightforward here. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, rest, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. 2, 3, 4. 1, rest. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great job, you guys. Pat yourselves on the back. Very nice job. I am a little bit obsessed with doing rhythm exercises and making sure that the rhythms are right because of trauma I have from my own piano background where I was, 12 years old and had been taking piano lessons for kind of a long time and realized that I could not play basic rhythms properly. And I had a new teacher who informed me of this and it was devastating. I was like, you mean this whole time I've been doing all this wrong. So I strive to make sure that these same tragedies never befall my own students. So let's go ahead and try one more little warm-up activity before we move on. Let me go ahead and screen share this on Zoom for the recording, and also because you may not need it, but I'm going to add a little helper here. So again, what I really want you to focus on, if you know those acronyms, the Every Good Boy Does Fine, or FACE, or whatever, for learning your names of the notes on the staff, that's perfectly fine. But what I really want you to remember is that the treble clef is actually a symbol for G. It's a Renaissance medieval symbol. If you kind of look at it, if you really squint, you can kind of see kind of looks like a fancy G, I guess. And so the swirl, a line that cuts right through the swirl on that is G. So this note here is going to be G. The note that's a step above that is going to be A. The one above that is going to be B, etc., etc. Going downwards is going to go backwards on the alphabet. The bass clef, you gotta squint a little harder for that to look like an F, but that is just a fancy symbol for an F. So the note that goes on this line between the 2 dots is gonna be your F. So let's quickly do about 10 more of these questions. Let's do 5 with the little helpers, 5 without. If you can't guess this one by now, I'm talking about the class, but this one is a G. Hopefully we realized that. Give a couple seconds. And then, so here's my little make it harder for you. If you already know the note, play all of them on the piano. So find every A on the piano if you find this pretty easy. Next one. This one's our C. Here's a little bit of a hard one. Remember on that bass clef, we've got to count backwards from the F. This one's B. This one's E. Okay, I'm going to take away the helpers now. Hopefully that was though on the screen long enough for you to realize that one was G. And this one's B. This one's A. This one is a good landmark. So there's a couple that I recommend you just kind of memorizing. Your middle C is a good one. Sorry guys, I have to stand on my tiptoes for you to see me behind this computer. But the middle C is a good one to memorize. That treble G is a good one to memorize. The bass F is a good one to memorize. This one, it kind of makes logical sense to me. It's the very bottom staff on the bass clef is the first letter of the alphabet. You know, that is an easy way for me to memorize that one. So this one is A. This one is D. This one is C. Another good one, this bass C. All your C's really are usually good kind of landmarks to memorize. Okay, I lied, two more. This one's your D. And now for real this time, last one. And this one is B. And again, this one's the one that is much easier to get if you have been thinking about those landmark notes. So it's not too terribly bad to count backwards from your F, you know. It's really easy if you know where that A is or the C. You know, if you have those two, then those are that, and then it makes it really easy to find this one. So great job, everybody. Let me go ahead and put our book up on the screen here. And we're going to go ahead and start out with Russian folk song for today. So this is on page 36. Let's play through this little warm-up exercise. On the top of the page here. So first, take just a scan. Always a good idea to just look at the material that is in the yellow box, just to make sure that you can see, you know, what are the possible new concepts that are being introduced that we're going to be talking about here. So for this one, we're talking about this bass clef note A. Again, we're already ahead of that because we were just talking about note names far beyond that in our little warm exercise here. So that should be very easy for you. Let's go ahead and play this left hand warm up on the top of page 36. So this is page 36. Let's play that left hand warm up at the top of the page saying our note names out loud. Okay. 1, 2, ready, play. C, B, A, B, C, B, A, B, C, B, A, B, C, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to repeat, but this time put your finger 2 on your C. Yeah, there should be a music rack right down there.
Okay.
Yes, if you don't have a music rack and you want one, there should be. You're fine, you're good, okay. This is incredibly hard to figure out how to put this in.
Okay.
Because they just purposefully designed the technology in this lab to be as unintuitive as possible, you know, and as unreliable as possible. Do you need one, Jada?
I found them.
Okay. Okay. It's a little bit challenging to figure out where to put it in. Okay, so you guys, let's repeat now that left hand warm-up exercise. Let's repeat that, starting with our left hand finger 2 on our C, okay? So we're gonna play the same note names, but this time you're just gonna use different fingers, okay? 1, 2, ready, play. C, B, A, B, C, B, A, B, C, B, A, B, C, and A together. Great job, okay? I don't think that rhythm should have been challenging for anyone. So let's go ahead and take a look at our piece, Russian folk song. If you've had a chance to practice this already, fantastic. We'll review just a little bit, and then we'll try it with our teacher part. So a really good thing to always pay attention to when you're starting a song to begin with is noticing the sections that are the same and the sections that are different. Those are really the only 2 options, aren't there? The same or different. So we have line A here, which is the exact same as the top line of the second page. And then these 2 lines are also the exact same as one another. Now this is a little bit different. The bottom line starts the same all the way through these first 2 measures, and then it's just this last 2 measures that are different. And what I want you to think about is this BA here. The BA is still in there. We just interrupt it with this right hand E, okay? But that stepping down pattern is still there. All the notes that we played the first time around are still there. We just added one extra one, okay? So the most challenging part is this opening chord, the A, C, E, all together. We've got both thumbs together on middle C. If you find that hand position uncomfortable, it means you are too close. So here's your class reminder. Everybody scoot back, a couple inches. Yes, absolutely. So you should feel no discomfort putting both thumbs together on middle C. So let's just try playing that opening chord, the A, C, E all together. Nice, curved, strong fingers. Just play this over and over again with me, just that opening chord, until you get the sound that you like. Okay, everybody feeling good on that? Anybody having trouble making all of those notes play at the same time? Okay, great. Let's go ahead and try that all together from the beginning now, the entire song. 1, 2, ready, go. Chord, 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 chord. D, D, C, C, B, hold. A, hold. Same as the beginning. Oh, this is familiar. B, hold. A, hold. Now it's different. 2, 3. C, D, D, C, C, B, hold. A, hold. B, hold, hold. C, D, D, C, C, B, hold. A, like the beginning. Chord, 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 chord. D, D, C, C, B, hold. E, hold down to A, 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to practice on this one on your own. If you already feel very confident with it, try this little challenge at the bottom of the page to transpose to this other set of keys. So you're going to find this hand position instead and see if you can give that a try and if that is a nice challenge for you. So that would be something to work on your own if you want to try that, if you have time, okay? So couple minutes and then we'll try it with the teacher part. again, if you get done with this kind of basic version, see if you can try that transposition to the other hand position at the bottom of the page. Okay, everybody, ready to give it a try? All right, we're gonna do this twice. Once at a slower tempo, once at a faster tempo. Both versions will be available on the recording. So if you get one tonight, but not the other, or you feel like you need to work on both of them later, that's perfectly fine. We'll have both versions, okay? Here we go from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Great. Okay, let's try that a little faster. Okay. So again, if you can keep up, great. If not, don't worry about it. You can practice that for later. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Really fun. Awesome job, you guys. Nice work. Okay. So again, feel free to continue practicing that one. It's one of my favorites, and you can always work on getting the tempo faster, transposition, coming up with even adding your own little accessories to the melody. I think that is a great idea. So let's go ahead and turn over to Midnight Ride on page 38. So first of all, taking a look at our little yellow box on the top of the page, and let me clear off these markings that are now used. So we are talking about our note treble clef F, not a problem for us. We already went over that and more in our note naming warm-up at the beginning, but never a bad idea to just review the placement of those treble clef notes that we're taking a look at there. Then moving on, sort of one of our new concepts that we're taking a look here is this idea of the legato sound. So legato means smooth and connected with no break in between our notes. So the idea here is that as you play one note and then you play the next note just as you lift up the previous finger. So that way you get no break in the sound. Now it's not like this. There I'm just holding down all the notes at once. That's not legato, that's cheating, okay? So that does not count. You have to actually make sure that you're paying attention to lifting as you play. So there should be just a tiny bit of overlap. People either tend to play almost all legato. So some people have a default and playing anything besides legato is kind of challenging, or getting this idea of legato is really tricky. So just listen as you play. And whenever we find that long curved line over the notes in the music, that's where we're going to try to play legato, that slur line, okay? So let's try that little warm-up example on the middle of the page there. So that's C, B, A, C, B, A, C. And then we're just going to repeat going down to the lower C's on the piano, okay? Let's give that a try and listen for that smooth connected sound as you play. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, go. C, B, A, C, B, A, C, 2, jump down, and C, B, A, C, B, A, C, jump down, C, B, A, C, B, A, C, last one, C, B, A, C, B, A, C. Great job. And you could also do a similar warm-up like that on similar notes with your right hand to just practice doing that legato sound there. So let's also go through and take a quick note of these sort of similar sections, just like we were talking about with the other piece. It's very useful to see that this line here, the first line, is exactly the same as, quickly find it in your own music. It's exactly the same as the second line on page 2. And then the bottom 2 lines of page 2 are also identical, exactly the same as one another. And then, you know, I like to kind of find that there's sort of a little subgroup here where this little theme is exactly the same up here. So while that top line of the second page isn't exactly the same as any other line, those 2 measures are. They're exactly the same, and then we find them later on. So that's just very useful to notice where we have similarities, where we have exact repetitions in our piece. So let's go ahead and play this through from the beginning all together. We're going to start with our left hand thumb on middle C, and then our right hand thumb on D. And then just quickly noticing that that first note that we play for the right hand is finger 2 on E. So just keep an eye out for that jump there. Let's go ahead and play it through saying note names. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. C, B, A, C, B, A, C, B, A, E, and hold F, E, D, E, 2, 3, F, E, D, E, 2. Just like the beginning, C, B, A, C, B, A, C, B, A, E, 2, 3, F, E, D, E, 2, 3, B, C, B, A, 2, 3, F, E, D, E, 2, 3, B, C, B, A, 2, 3. Okay, pretty good, great. So take a minute to practice this one on your own. Then we have the teacher part and another little fun activity, I think. But feel free to also grab a pencil and maybe mark in any finger numbers. You know, the line changes are always a little bit challenging when we jump from one line to the next. So if you want to mark in one of those notes, you know, for example, measure 17, the top of the last line, that's when you might mark in finger 3 right there at the top of that, just to remind yourself. So go ahead and take about 2 minutes, 3 minutes to practice, and then we'll give this a try with our teacher part. right, let's go ahead and give this a try with the teacher part. We'll again do the same thing, 2 different tempos, one slower, one faster. So here we go from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Okay, so again, if you were not quite ready, quite with that yet, no worries at all. You are welcome to practice along with that on the recording later. And if you're ever watching the recording and you know the tempo of the accompaniment is just not quite right for you, shoot me an email, text, or something like that, and I'm happy to make a quick video for you at the right tempo or so the sound quality is better or whatever, if you want to be able to play along with the accompaniment, okay? Let's try it one more time, a little faster this time. 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, go. Man, if you were with me for even a smidge of that one, wow, I'm impressed. You know, maybe you're getting done just around now. Now you're fine. That was really fast. Do not feel like you needed to be just there yet. Okay, so now something a little bit fun, and we're gonna make sure that it is fun for everyone. So put your hand up if you feel comfortable getting your headset paired with somebody else. So what this means is that you will have a partner who can hear you. So you don't have to move. It's just somebody else is going to be able to hear you. And what we're going to do is switch off. So you're going to have a partner version, sort of a little relay race version of this. So you play one line, your partner plays the next line. You play one line, your partner plays the next line, you play one line, and then you'll switch who starts so you kind of have to practice listening, waiting, keeping track of where it is in the music and trying to match the same tempo. If you feel comfortable with that, raise your hand and I will put people in pairs. If you're like, that makes me want to throw up, I cannot do that. Keep your hands down and just don't even worry about it, okay? So let's see. Oh, I've got an odd number, but that's great because here I am and I can go over there. Okay, so let me go ahead now. Let me talk to the people who are like, a wave of dread just came over my body when you said, pair me with somebody else. No worries, okay? You're safe. I'm not gonna make you do that. Here's my challenge for you. Play the first line all the way with your left hand. Play the second line all the way with your right hand. So you're gonna have to change up your fingering, but you can easily play this with left hand. Now play the next line with your right hand. Then switch lines and do that. That's a great thing. If you're on Zoom watching our recording, that's a great way to try it at home. And then switch. And so then do the first line with your right hand and then switch to left hand and see if you can do that. Okay, but let's go ahead. So those of you who are doing that on your own, try that out a little bit. And if you get done with that, move over to page 40, the right hand and left hand finger work exercises, okay? So partner people, though, let's go ahead and I'm going to make, how do I want to do this? Okay, you guys are gonna be partners. That's 4 and 9. This always takes just a second, so bear with me. Number 4. Okay, play something and see if you guys can hear each other. You can't hear
Am I
anything?
supposed to hear someone?
You're supposed to hear her.
I do not hear anything.
What's this number? No, that's not number 9. That's the problem. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay, hang on. Okay, that's 4 and that's 7. Okay, now see if you guys can hear each other.
Yeah.
Yes, now you
That's
can.
weird.
Okay, now I'm gonna do number 5 and number 8. Okay. Can you guys hear each other?
I think so.
Yes, okay. It might be a little bit soft and that's okay. So just play out nice and low. And then me and Jada are gonna be partners. So let me go ahead and do this. And then number 9, and I'm gonna come down. Okay, and you guys can go ahead and start whenever you're ready. So just pick who's gonna start first and then play it through, practice a little bit if you need to, and then switch, okay? And folks who are practicing on your own, again, move on to that next page when you're ready. And if you need to, you can even move on to the
What?
one after that.
Sure.
Okay.
So are we just
Okay.
switching per measure?
Per
line, yeah.
Per line, okay.
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 Can you hear me?
Yep, perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
That was quiet. No, I was, sorry, I would have played that. I could hardly hear you. Try that one more time.
Oh, wait.
No, you go.
Okay.
Or do you want to switch it so that I go first?
Yeah.
Alright, okay, now I'll go first. That was fun.
You want to switch users?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll do the first one.
You go. Okay,
Heck yeah.
let's try that one more time. I'll start again. That was fun. You know, I almost did the exact same thing. Like on that line, I was like, oh, no, it's my turn. It just sounds like it's supposed to like go to the next.
I thought I was gonna repeat over again.
I know, it's so tricky. Great job. Okay, you guys, let me unpair you. So you can go back to your little chamber of silence and solitude. Okay, you know, again, it's always good to just use the technology that we have here. So let's go ahead, folks, and turn over. So if you did not take a look at page 40, that left hand and right hand finger work, that's a good one to practice for some homework. Pay attention to the octave symbols. So that means like moving higher and lower on the keyboard. And then you can also take a look at your page 41 music theory worksheet for this week. That would be a great thing for you to practice. So that is these 2 pages here using for practice this week. And for our last couple of minutes here, we're going to go ahead and move over to Chant of the Monk and Chant of the Monks. And the main takeaway of this one, so what did I tell you? Fancy G, okay? So it's showing us right here, our treble clef symbol, just a fancy G, shows us where G goes. Wonderful, very useful, very helpful. So take a look at that. Keep it in mind if you're just like, what did she say that symbol is supposed to be? Is that supposed to be a B, you know, whatever? You can look here. It'll remind you. So what I really want to focus on is our C5 finger scale placement that we have right at the top of our page 43. This is that same position that we used when we were playing our C5 finger scale warm-up and our warm-up in thirds back when we were just reading the note names. So we just want to keep that in mind. This is a very important hand position that we're going to use for a lot of our pieces. So let's go ahead and give a try on page 42, chant of the one monk, lonely monk, all by himself. And let's go ahead and give that a try through, keeping in mind that we should be playing legato nice and smoothly. We have a repeat at the end of this, and it says right under there, F-P on repeat. So what that means for you to do is play loudly the first time, and then play quietly the second time. So let's go ahead and give this a try. Also, you have the right hand thumb starting on our middle C. 1, 2, ready, play. C, D, E, F, G, F, E. Hold. D, C, D, E, F, E, D. Hold. C, 2, 3, repeat. Softly. D, E, F, G, F, E. Hold. D, C, D, E, F, E, D. Hold. C. Hold. Okay, I think that's probably straightforward enough. Let's play with the teacher part one time. Same way with the repeat, loud the first time, quiet the second time. 1, 2, ready, play. Three, repeat. Great. Okay, let's move on to chant of the monks on page 43. So going back to what we talked about a while ago about this idea of parallel and contrary motion between the hands, which one is this one on chant of the monks?
Parallel.
Parallel, absolutely. Our hands are moving in the same direction. We are playing the same note names, but not the same finger numbers. And in many ways, that is trickier to have to play the same note names, but not using the same fingers. So go ahead and I'll let you guys take a little second to practice this because I think everybody's going to kind of be on a different pace with this one. For some people, playing hands together is just really easy. For other people, it's a little bit more challenging. So try page 43, chant of the monks, which is hands together. If you feel really comfortable with that and it's working well for you, try transposing to that G position. So that's going to be where you put right hand thumb on G, left hand pinky on G, moving to that G pentascale. So give that a try if you feel comfortable with the C scale, okay? Take just a couple minutes here. All right, folks, and we will go ahead and stop there because we are all out of time for the evening. So for next week, I'd like for you to practice starting on page 44 and moving all the way to the end of the unit, ending with the music theory worksheet on page 49, okay? So 44 to about 49, and I will send that out in our email with the link to the recording and all of that. If you're finding things generally easy still in this phase, this is a really good time to just double down and really reinforce your note naming. Make sure that you're playing with really accurate rhythms. Make sure that you're taking those articulations. So that's when we're talking about slurs versus not slurs, dynamics. There's always a level that you can move to. I mean, even when I'm playing these little pieces along with you, I think about it like practice. I try to think, what can I do better? I mean, really, how can I control my tone even more? How can I make this even more beautiful? How can I make my legato even better? So there is never a phase where it's like, oh, this is too easy. There's nothing I can do with this. Again, try transposing your pieces. Try doing lots of different things. If you're finding stuff easy to just really build a super solid foundation, okay? And then in class next week, we will start with Shining Stars on page 44, just because I think this one is really pretty. So okay, play that one all together, and then we'll move ahead starting to page 50, okay? All right, everyone, have a great evening, rest of your week.